Welcome to Module Lesson, Unit 2, Lesson 2. Learning targets. I can describe the setting, characters, and major events in the text City Hawk, the story of Pale Mail. I can answer questions about the character in City Hawk, the story of Pale Mail, using evidence from the text. I'm so excited. Mrs. Debo is going to join us today, and she's going to read the jazz chant with you, two sides of the story. Let's welcome her.
Hi, first graders. This is Mrs. Debo. I have a special activity to share with you today, a jazz chant. It's called Two Sides of the Story. This jazz chant is written for two groups of people. One column would be said by the bird watchers. The other column would be said by the neighbors. Listen and follow along as I read the jazz chant. Bird watchers. Those birds need a place for their nest. They're skillful, lovely, and smart. Skillful and lovely, skillful and lovely, skillful, lovely, and smart. Leave that nest up. Leave it up. Leave it up. Leave that nest up. Neighbors. These birds are making a mess. They're a nuisance, a bother, a pain. A nuisance, a bother, a nuisance, a bother, a nuisance, a bother, a pain. Take this nest down. Take it down. Take it down. Take this nest down. Let's think about it. What is this chant mostly about? Right, the bird watchers and neighbors are telling their opinion about the birds and their nest. Did you notice that some words are underlined in this jazz chant? Those, that, these, and this. These words tell about what is close by and what is far away. They're called demonstratives. Listen to the chant one more time. This time, you can clap the beat. Ready? Here we go. Bird watchers. Those birds need a place for their nest. They're skillful, lovely, and smart. Skillful and lovely, skillful and lovely, skillful, lovely, and smart. Leave that nest up. Leave it up. Leave it up. Leave that nest up. Neighbors. These birds are making a mess. They're a nuisance, a bother, a pain. A nuisance, a bother, a nuisance, a bother, a nuisance, a bother, a pain. Take this nest down. Take it down. Take it down. Take this nest down. Thank you, first graders. See you again soon.
Thanks, Miss Debo. That is awesome. You did a great job. Now, our learning target. I can describe the setting, characters, and major events in the text City Hawk, the story of Pale Mail. What is the setting? Right, where the story takes place. Major events are serious or important things that are going to happen in the story. City Hawk, the story of Pale Mail. What do you notice on the cover? Right, I see a bird too. And buildings? Well, what do you think this book will be about? The bird? His name's Pale Mail? Right. Let's read the story. City Hawk, the story of Pale Mail. New York City is bustling with cars, buses, and people hurrying to important places. There are lots of tall buildings, lots of streets, and lots of pollution. That's why so many people flock to the city's largest park for a needed escape. While in Central Park, New Yorkers can take a nap in the grass, play catch on one of the sprawling lawns, or get a glimpse of a squirrel scurrying up a tree. What they never expect is to see real wildlife, animals that usually make their homes in forests or on mountaintops or by rivers. Passerby couldn't believe their eyes when a red-tailed hawk was spotted flying over Fifth Avenue. Bird watchers took an interest in the hawk. They named him Pale Male because of his light feathers. Day after day, month after month, Pale Male could be seen soaring high above Central Park. After Pale Male was sighted near a pond in Central Park, flying over the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and by a hot dog stand, it was clear that he was there to stay. Every year, the ritual began. One year, Pale Male found a bird named Lola. She was a hawk, too. Her feathers were darker than his, and she was bigger in size. Pale Male dove and swooped and fluttered around Lola. Together, the two birds gathered twigs and branches and piled them atop an apartment building overlooking Central Park. Large spikes meant to ward off pigeons made it easy for Pale Male and Lola to build a nest. But what they didn't know was they were being watched. Across Fifth Avenue into Central Park and past a small body of water called the Boat Pond, a group of people watched the hawks intently. There were young people and old people, men and women. The most dedicated of these bird watchers called themselves the Regulars. The Regulars carried big cameras and big telescopes. They watched the action excitedly, like die-hard fans viewing their favorite sporting event. The question on everybody's mind was, did Lola lay eggs? Yes. But when would they hatch? The Regulars arrived at the park before the sun came up and didn't leave until the sun went down. They waited in the rain. They waited in the dark. They waited and waited and waited. Finally, the two babies were born. They chirped excitedly for food. Pale Male was a good dad and worked tirelessly to bring plenty of food back for them. The Regulars named one baby Handsome and the other one Gretel. When the babies grew enough feathers and became strong, it was time for them to fly. Most hawks usually practice flying by hopping from tree to tree. But there were no trees. The babies would have to leap off the tall building and fly across Fifth Avenue. The fall down would be far. They hopped and hopped and hopped some more, but neither flew. At last, one morning before the sun peeked above the trees, one baby took the first flight, disappearing into the dark blue sky. The daylight brought new excitement. Soon both babies were exploring the park. The Regulars watched it all. Their early mornings and late nights in the park were worth every minute. If you go to Central Park and watch and wait, you may see a pale feathered hawk. And come spring, chances are there will be a nest. Inside the nest, there may be several eggs with several babies waiting to greet the world. For your discussion today, you are first going to think about the book City Hawk, the story of Pale Male. Next, practice answering the question, where did the hawks build their nest and what did they use? Then, click the blue reply button to record yourself answering the question, where did the hawks build their nest and what did they use? Down here is a sentence frame you can use. It says, the hawks built their nest blank and they used. So in that first blank, you're going to tell me where they built their nest, and at the end, you're going to tell me what they used.